Dustin had this stat that the last 3 4-tire stops for Truex were between 11.2 and 12.7 seconds. Compare that to Denny Hamlin, whose were between 9.9 and 10.8. So as Truex said, just a long, terrible day, but yet his 17th place finish at Texas was his best finish of the playoffs, which it tells you everything about what's going on with the 19 team right now, regular season champions. And I can't get over how mediocre they've been. And Kyle Petty is saying, DJ, that he doesn't think Truex makes the championship 4 at this point. I mean, he's still 19 points above the cut line going into Talladega, but Talladega is obviously one of his worst tracks. He's won at the Roval, but that's the X factor. What do you make of Truex at this point?
I think that you're being kind when you say that their playoffs have been mediocre. This has been a disaster. I cannot believe that the regular season champ, and I was ready to pencil Martin Truex Jr. in as the one of the along with Larson and Denny Hamlin and probably William Byron. That was kind of your championship 4 that you were looking at, and that there has not been a single race from the drop of the green flag in these playoffs. And I realize just 4 races in, but there hasn't been a single race when you said, oh yeah, they're going to be good today. Even when they qualified well, they went on the backslide to start with at Kansas as soon as they dropped the green flag, and then they ran over something and punctured a tire. So it's just one thing after another, and you talk about these pit stops that just once again put yourself and put your driver in a bad spot, and you're not able to run the race the way that you want to. So I have no idea if they're going to be able to make it through to the next round. And if they do, even how they can go about cleaning it up whenever, you talk about another 1.5 mile track or 2 of them coming at tracks you would think that Martin would be all right with, Las Vegas and Homestead. But there's nothing telling me that they're on that path again, as good as they were there at a point in time during this season. They're twice as bad as they were good. And but that body of work may somehow, some way get them through, and we'll have to see if they can rebound from this. I'm going to be blunt and honest, and this is hanging around Kyle Petty as much as I do, which I love to do, and but you learn to kind of say what's on your mind, and I think there's a disconnect there between James Small and the rest of the team, not just their driver, but the rest of the team now. He's got to get a handle on this, and he better do it much sooner than later.
Can you see that externally, DJ, that it's, I mean, again, not to be too blunt, but is it just a leadership thing where the team isn't kind of on the same page for whatever reason?
Yeah, it just seems that their race cars aren't prepared when the race starts, and they're overlooking things. And you go back to Darlington where Truex had gotten into the fence in their short practice time, and they didn't find the issue there. I mean, when you hit the wall, you've got, and I realize they're trying not to start in the rear, but when something like that happens, the parts and pieces on these cars now just seem so fragile, and they're obviously so very important, but they, just the slightest bend in them, and we're talking something maybe minute, but it is findable, and not to do that. I just think that leadership, and that starts at the very top with the crew chief. He's got to be in charge of his people. If it's someone else's fault, then he needs to be on top of them and making sure they're doing their job better. So, I think it starts right there. I can't put the blame on Martin, but, is some of it, is he not, connected enough there to be telling him exactly, what he's looking for and the issues that he's going through. But they better figure things out quickly. And it's not that I don't think that James Hall, he is outstanding crew chief, and hey, wouldn't want the job, but you put yourself in. You're the one that when they said who wants to be crew chief, he raised his hand. And you when you're going good and you're getting a lot of the credit, then when things aren't going good, you're going to get a lot of the blame at that point in time too. So I think it starts right there at the top, and I would hope and think that they're in meetings as you and I are talking right now, discussing how they can be better whenever they get to Talladega and the Roval.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.